After last week's Dragonseed bloodbath, House of the Dragon wraps up its second season on a less fiery note. There are no big dragon battles to be had, no one major dies, and swords remain sheathed, but tensions are rising on both sides as the Blacks and the Greens head to all-out war. The season finale opens not in Westeros, but in the Free Cities where a bedeviled Tywin Lannister, Jefferson Hall showing some of the sharp wit Tyrion would later inherit, is negotiating with the Triarchy to break the Gullet's blockade. He finds the pirates distasteful but manages to get the support of their armada in exchange for many golden dragons and possession of the much-disputed stepstones, with your favorite stars and more. They add one last condition: Admiral Lohar, Abigail Thorne, must go with him to break the blockage. Tywin is all fine. Fine, just give me the ships until he meets the fearsome Lohar, who turns out to be not a man, but a woman who calls him Tywin and says he must best her first before she will agree to sail. One messy mud-wrestling bout later, Lohar's impressed by his virility and decides she wants some lion cubs of her very own. Not with her, but her wives, and at this point, Tywin probably wishes he never left Lannisport in the first place. Since Lohar sails into battle beside him at the end of the episode, we'll assume she got her wish. Larys tells Aegon it's time to get out of King's Landing. Still in rough shape, Aegon, Tom Glencarny, is at least conscious enough to ask for some rum to ease his pain. Larys, Matthew Needham, comes to visit him with news that Rhaenyra, Emma Darcy, has 3 additional dragon riders, and that as a result, Aemond, Ewan Mitchell, has burned the nearby town of Sharp Point to the ground in his wrath. The Prince Regent intends to kill the king next, but when Aegon says he'll throw his brother in jail first, Larys points out that without Vhagar, the city will be wholly unprotected when Rhaenyra makes her attack. When Larys suggests they can live quite well in Bravos on the gold he's stashed away from Harrenhal's reserves, Aegon can only wallow in self-pity, saying he's now crippled and alone. A vulnerable Larys is about to start singing "You've Got a Friend in Me," but decides to make the case that Aegon can let Rhaenyra and Aemond kill each other, and then return to his grateful subjects as Aegon the Rebuilder. Though Aegon darkly names himself the Realm's Delight, he does flee King's Landing with Larys, but seems to give no mind to the survival of his wife, mother, or daughter. Real swell guys, the two of them. Aemond looks for a dragon rider in the least likely place. While Aegon is not the only member of Team Green deciding it's time to evacuate, Aemond clamps down harder on the passage in and out of King's Landing after hearing the new dragon riders escape from the city. Even the fishing boats will be inspected, stressing the already starved populace. "We all must make our sacrifices," Aemond says coldly. The sacrifices won't stop there, though, and he demands Helaena, Fiasaben, ride Dreamfire into battle with him. Though her dragon is one of the oldest in Westeros, the fragile woman is no warrior and refuses to fight. Enraged that the dragon seeds have defiled their birthright, he gets rough with his sister until Alicent, Oliva Cook, comes between them and eventually he storms out in anger. Later, he approaches Helaena alone and begs her with tears in his one eye to ride to Harrenhal with him. She asks, "Will you burn me as you did Aegon?" He denies it, but she saw it in a vision. Not only has she seen his treachery, but she's witnessed their future. Aegon will rule again on a wooden throne, and as for Aemond, you are swallowed up in the god's eye, and you are never seen again. For those who missed their Westeros geography lesson, the God's Eye is the largest lake in the Seven Kingdoms and is located right by Harrenhal, where Aemond is headed. Even if he drags her to war, his fate will not change. Jace pouts while Ulf pisses everyone else off. Though Team Black is full up on dragon riders, Jace, Harry Collett, feels insecure about his own history as a bastard while among them. Though both Adam, Clinton Liberty, and Hugh, Kieran Boo, comport themselves well, Ulf, Tom Bennett, is another matter entirely. His boorish nature sets the pouty prince's teeth on edge, and it does not help matters that he brings up Jace's bastard brown hair to his face. It's only with Hugh's intercession that Jace doesn't feed Ulf to Vermax. Ulf continues to test everyone, including Rhaenyra and the other dragon seeds. However, since he has claimed Silverwing, they must tolerate him while hoping he rises to the task at hand. And that task is no longer deterrence but war. Rhaenyra hoped that having 7 dragons under her command would be enough to get the Greens to surrender, but with Aemond at the lead, that hope is slim. Corlys, Steve Toussaint, advises that she must strike now and with force. Though they have had a complicated relationship, he believes she is ready for battle. As is he on the refurbished Sea Snake, which will sail under a new name. In honor of his late wife Rhaenys, he has rechristened the famed ship, the Queen That Never Was. As Corlys prepares to set sail, he tries to give the taciturn Alan, Abubakar Salim, advice on how to inspire his crew, but the young man refuses to listen. Having been ignored by his father so long, Alan finally tells Corlys of the deprivation he and Adam lived under, while Corlys swanned about with his rightful heirs cloaked in furs and filled with sweetmeats. It's only when all those heirs have died that Corlys finally deigned to scatter the crumbs of your favor. Having survived so long on his own abilities, Alan is fine continuing on alone without his father's help. Demon has a vision of ice and fire. As the wind in the weirwood hisses, traitor, Sir Alfred Broom, Jaime Kinna, arrives at Harrenhal with treachery in his heart. Instead of continuing to support the faltering queen, Broom suggests Demon, Matt Smith, put forth his own claim and declare himself king instead. A few weeks ago Demon might have welcomed the support, but he pauses here, noting warily, "I never took you for a turncloak, Sir Alfred." Demon does not commit to the plot, but Sir Simon Strong, Sir Simon Russell Beale, witnesses the exchange and, ever loyal, sends a raven to Rhaenyra with a warning. If Demon was considering making his betrayal of Rhaenyra complete, the castle has other ideas for him. As he communes with the castle's heart tree, he sees the future filled with a whole lot of Game of Thrones Easter eggs. A three-eyed raven in the shape of young Targaryen bastard Brynden Rivers appears and transforms into a battle full of bleeding men and dead dragons that leaves Demon drowning in the depths of a lake. In another flash, he sees the Night King among an army of White Walkers, 3 familiar dragon eggs bathed in fire, and the rebirth of the dragons in the form of his descendant Daenerys Targaryen. I don't know if the show busted their cameo budget with Millie Alcock and Paddy Considine's returns, but sadly we don't see Emilia Clarke in this vision. Lastly, he sees his wife Rhaenyra on the Iron Throne and Helena appears saying, "It's all a story, and you are but one part in it. You know your part." Demon doesn't realize he's just learned of the Song of Ice and Fire, but when Rhaenyra arrives in a surprise visit to Harrenhal alongside Adam on Seasmoke, she finds her husband humbled by what he has witnessed.